Alright, y'all, let's get into my review of the 2023 Soul Train Awards. Y'all ready? Let's go.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and I'm back again with another episode of On the Bright Side TV. Welcome back. How you doing? Hope you're doing very well. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna get off of Grammy season now. We'll get back to that come February. But I definitely wanted to talk about the 2023 Soul Train Awards, which just went down this past weekend. Actually, yesterday, last night on Sunday, November 26th, 2023. And what a show it was. It was very interesting to say the least. I think it was taped the weekend before, but it just premiered this past Sunday, Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, by the way. But yeah, man, let's talk about the 2023 Soul Train Awards. They were very interesting. Hosted by Keke Palmer. I think she killed it. And apparently it was at her house, which I'm not sure if that actually is her house or if that was just like a random, mansion that they like rented for the evening. Keke said, she said it's her house. So, and we also have Brian Michael Cox on DJ duties, which was really dope to see him on, spinning the ones and twos all night. He did a great job. Shout out to Brian Michael Cox. He killed it. This is the first time I think in history where they held a Soul Train Awards at like a house. It kind of gave like a house party, dinner party vibe, like give like industry party vibe instead of it feeling like an award show. The switch up in the location and the vibe was interesting. There was definitely a lot that I appreciated about it, but it also kind of really diluted the importance of I think what the Soul Train Awards are and just the way they set it up. So we'll talk about it. But pretty much in terms of the good, I really loved it being at Keke's house in terms of the way it felt way more intimate, which I actually loved. I loved how it felt more intimate. I loved how it felt like just like a really intimate house party. I liked that feeling because that's my vibe in general. So I liked that feeling. And I liked how it allowed there to be a lot more, it allowed there to be a lot more of a seamless transition between performances and moments. Like it didn't feel like there was like a lot of like issues, and you could tell like it wasn't a lot of like BS going on behind the scenes. Like it seemed like it was very smooth. Everything was calculated. They were moving from thing to thing, and it was very smooth. Like it wasn't no issues. And I think the one thing I loved about the setup this year is the fact that I feel like the audio was impeccable. Like the audio was amazing all night. I feel like throughout the night, I can't tell if like they dubbed the recordings and then like everyone was lip syncing or whether or not the mic was really on all night. It felt like the mics were on all night, but I can't really tell if like, like I said, they recorded everything beforehand. Maybe they did. But regardless of that, the audio throughout the night sounded amazing and I loved that. I felt like everything sounded so clear. There was no issues. Everything sounded amazing all night, so I loved that. So those were to me the highlights. But I think what was really the drawbacks of it being at Keke's house and the way they set it up at this like Hollywood mansion was the fact that the wind was the elements. They were against the elements all night. The wind was blowing crazy. Keke was doing her monologues like, okay, y'all. And so now next up we have like all the women were like, constantly shifting their hair, they was like the wind was winding, but at the same time, it kind of gave a lot of artists a cool effect when they're performing. It kind of gave them like that personal wind effect, which was cool for some performances. But yeah, the wind was going crazy all night. Apparently, all the guests and stuff are cold because it was really cold night in LA. I think it was like in the 50s. So it just kind of like made the vibe a little awkward in terms of like the fact that you could tell like a lot of people weren't comfortable and they were dealing with like being outside instead of like it being like inside theater with controlled weather, no elements to deal with, which is obviously way better for the viewers, for us to experience and watch it, where we don't have to see people like people's hair flailing everywhere and all that. So that was kind of a drawback. I didn't like that. Even though I liked the way it looked, being outside, the winds and the elements was definitely like a drawback. And then on top of that, the lighting I thought was a whole vibe. I loved all like the blue and red lighting that they had throughout the whole throughout the whole house in terms of the vibe it gave the show. But at the same time, the entire show felt so dark because it was outside on a dark night. So like, they had lighting that was like, artificial lighting and all that, but like it just, and the stage was lit and all that. But a lot of times I noticed that it just, the night felt dark and it didn't feel bright and like the Soul Train Awards should feel, because it was like a dark, vibey, outside party. So it was interesting. I liked it, but I didn't at the same time. I like that they tried something new, but at the same time, I wish they had really tinkered and like worked on making it what it could have been in an outside environment. Like I liked what they did, but I would have, made some edits in terms of how they approached the format of the evening. Even though it was promising, and it did have some highlights in terms of the switch up and how they set it up this year. So I think that's what I'll say about, you know, how the night went in general. But Keke Palmer, I think, did a great job hosting, even in the midst of all of her drama right now. I think she did a great job just being herself. She's so eloquent. She's a vibe. She's just like, she's funny as hell. She's cool people. Like, Keke Palmer been, you know, she's been cool people since day one, since she was a kid. So she definitely did a great job hosting. She, you know, she kept the night flowing. You know, great comedic timing, great energy, and she performed as well, which is great. So she was just all around. It was her night, low key. Besides Coco Jones, it was Keke Palmer's night, and she did a great job hosting. And I think the last thing I'll say overall in terms of the show is how I was really I wasn't disappointed, because I know that they were probably all busy. I think they taped it the weekend before, but SZA, Victoria Monet, and Usher, not only did they win a lot of awards, but they also all had great years in R&B. And it would have been great to see all three of them in particular perform their latest records and all that. You know, Victoria doing On My Mama, SZA doing, you know, Snooze, Usher doing Good. Like, it would have been great to see. And not even just them three, but in general, I think that I've been saying this for years now. A really big problem with the Soul Train Awards is that for some reason, even though I value them and I love them and I know the importance of them and I look forward to them every year, I feel like as the years go on, there's this trend of our favorite R&B singers, rappers, you know, just black artists, entertainers, kind of shunning the BET Awards, and not shunning them, but not making it a priority to attend them, not making it a priority to like promote them and like be a part of them and be involved and be part of the festivities and be there and show up. Like, and the thing is, I understand that, you know, a lot of artists have busy schedules, they're touring, they got different things going on. So I think in the case of like, you know, SZA and Victoria Monet, they're very busy right now, so I'm not as mad at them. But in general, to the wider, you know, black industry, black Hollywood, you know, black music industry, I'm really disappointed and frustrated, and I feel like it continues to be like a worse problem as the years go by, of so many R&B, soul, hip-hop artists not making it a priority to attend the Soul Train Awards. But yet they're going to be at the Grammys. You best believe their team are going to make sure, whether or not they're nominated, they're going to be at the Grammys. They're going to be at the VMAs. And most likely even the BET Awards. But for some reason, it's like the Soul Train Awards like just feels like the ugly duckling, like the ugly stepchild in the family of award shows. And I don't like that, because in my eyes, the Soul Train Awards have always given us some of the best moments in terms of performances. The awards are always on point in terms of who they actually nominate and award, compared to the Grammys and the VMAs and the Billboard and AMAs. Like, I feel like the Soul Train Awards have always been some of the fairest, a body of voting people when it comes to who they actually nominate and award every year. Like, they actually are very much on point and fair with who they give their nominations and awards to. So you would think that more artists would get behind them to support like a really fair awards body. On top of the fact that the actual show itself is always a freaking party. It's a jam. They do a great job of doing this show every year. So I don't know why so many of our primary artists don't support. Beyonce, you know, this year SZA, Victoria Monet, Usher, like so many of our major artists just, you know, it's frustrating. I don't know. But at the same time, like I said, people will be busy, but I hate that all of our favorite artists, we know for a fact that no matter what's going on, they're not gonna miss the Grammys. And I hate that energy is in the industry, especially for our black artists, while they disregard the Soul Train Awards if they're busy doing something else. I just don't like it, but it is what it is. All right, so those are my thoughts on this year's show in general. Now let me get into my thoughts on all the main performances and moments throughout the night. Let's get into it. All right, so the first performance of the night was Janelle Monae, who I think, in my opinion, killed it. I think she was a great opener for the show. She was a perfect option to open the show. She brought great energy. She did a medley of Float and Champagne shit. I loved it. I already told y'all my Grammy videos. Like, Janelle Monae put out one of my favorite albums this year. So, and I don't think she's really performed it at any like major like award shows or any other major like places. So I'm glad she finally gave it like a major moment on the Soul Train Awards. I love the whole album, and I love both of these songs. Man, she opened up with like this like flower coat thing, like in a flower hat, kind of giving like Midsummer, you know the movie Midsummer vibes? You kind of get that vibe a little bit. Like this like flowery ensemble. It was so cute. I loved it. And her vocal and her energy throughout the performance were just, you know, on point as always. I feel like Janelle Monae is definitely one of the most consistent performers of our generation in terms of like her vocal, her energy, and she danced at the same time too. And she's just not afraid to like always just be herself and always stay creative in the output and the way she connects with the audience and with the music. She really is a singular entity, and I loved that she really got to get her shit off with these songs. And she just had a great performance, but she just gave good energy. She was giving the crowd what they needed. She ate it up, and she was giving great vibes and with good songs and with good energy. So she definitely killed it. I'm glad she opened up the show. She was perfect. And she also was awarded the Spirit of Soul Award, which I was going to talk about later, but I'll just mention it now. She was awarded the Spirit of Soul Award, which I feel like this is the first year they're naming it the Spirit of Soul Award. I feel like it used to be called the Lady of Soul Award. So I think they changed it actually for Janelle Monae to kind of make it, gender neutral, which I think is dope. And I loved how with Janelle Monae's speech, she really celebrated her queerness, her uniqueness, her journey up until this point, which I think is a journey that we don't talk about enough in terms of Black music. And as someone who's been able to see her journey from the beginning, I loved that moment of just seeing Janelle Monae getting recognized for her career and what she's done so far in the game. She's not someone that has like #1 hits, and she's not always in everyone's face like that, but her music has been so amazing, and she's definitely one of the trailblazers of our time. So I'm really glad Soul Train gave her the recognition. She talked about like how she does, she puts her head down. She just gets to the work to fight for like, her people, Black people, and those that don't feel heard and seen. So we can all, continue to feel connected and feel that love. And she just, she was just saying stuff like that, and it was all genuine. I loved her. Her speech was amazing. So shout out to Janelle Monae on winning her award for Spirit of Soul. Definitely deserved for a great year that she's had and a great career that she's had. So shout out to her. Shout out to that queen. We love you. Mwah. Next up was the Best New Artist Award, which went to Coco Jones, as it should have. We're not surprised. Shout out Coco Jones. I'm glad she won that. Definitely was hers to take. She's had an amazing year. She really, waved the flag for R&B as one of the new artists this year, so she definitely deserved that award. I'm happy for her. And she had a really great, quick speech, but really nice speech about, the importance of Soul Train and what it means to her, and how she is so, thankful to be part of like the tapestry of the legacy of Soul Train, and how she wants to continue to pay it forward and all, stuff like that. So great speech. I loved it. And I'm really happy to see someone like Coco Jones, as young as she is, talking about the importance of Soul Train and its legacy, and how we need to continue to realize the legacy of Soul Train and how we continue to evolve it and in the years to come, which is something that I feel like we're really not addressing enough as a culture. So I'm glad Coco Jones talked about it, and I'm so glad she won because she deserved. Next up was Muni Long, and she performed her new song Made For Me, which came out a few months ago. To me, I'll be honest, y'all, like this song Made For Me isn't bad. It's a cool song, but I'm definitely not surprised that it hasn't hit like that since it dropped a few months ago. It hasn't really moved like that. I'm not surprised, because even though it's not a bad song, to me it don't have that zoom. It don't have that je ne sais quoi. I don't have that it factor that I feel like Hours and Hours and other songs that she's made has. But and I feel bad because it's produced by Jermaine Dupri and Brian Michael Cox, legends in the game. I love both of them. Like, everything they do is fire, and it's definitely not a bad song, but I just don't feel like it has that oomph, and it doesn't. To me, it didn't really translate that well in the performance itself. But at the same time, like, it wasn't a bad performance, not a bad song. It just wasn't like it wasn't like But she definitely was solid. She did a good job. She sounded good. She looked good. I think she had like, if it wasn't a choir, she had like a really big group of background vocalists that really helped bring some life into the performance as well. So it was cool. Muni Long definitely wasn't one of the highlights of the night, but she definitely wasn't bad at all. So it was cool. Next up was Dante Bowe, who I think is one of the members of Maverick City Music, and apparently he's making a transition to now making R&B music. And so I'm not really that familiar with him, but good luck on his journey to making secular music, because we all know how that goes with people who start in the gospel Christian community. So we'll see how that goes. But shout out to him. But yeah, he performed a medley of his songs, Wind Me Up and Your Majesty. I don't really know his music like that, but he was cool. I feel like his voice, he doesn't have like unique voice. He does have a unique voice, but I don't think it's like that resonant. But at least maybe as a solo artist, he might sound good in the blend of Maverick City Music, but I think as a solo artist, at least for that live performance, his voice didn't really like stand out for me, and it didn't really connect with me like that. But he definitely, he did a solid job. He definitely had like good blocking with the camera, and his staging was cool, his dances were cool, and he definitely hit the fuck out that dance break. I think that was towards the end of the performance. I think it was on Your Majesty. He had like kind of like a tribal, African dance break that was like dope. I loved it. because I think that song has like an African, tribal feel to it too. The one part I didn't like about his performance was when like the camera like followed him to like this like side bar. Like he walked to like a bar that was kind of like awkward because he was just like standing there and people were just like looking at him. And then he like hit this like high leg kick, like he was on some superstar shit. And I'm not trying to be shady. It was, I appreciate the energy, but it was just hella random. But I appreciated it. But yeah, so besides him going to the bar, that was random. The rest of his performance was cool. It was straight. I don't really think I have like, there's something that really like made me upset about his performance. I definitely think his vocal and his energy and his, his presence is promising. So we'll see where he goes from here. But I definitely thought it definitely wasn't a highlight, but it was a cool performance. It was cool. Next up was October London, who performed his song Back to Your Place as one of like the amplified stage performers. And I'm not mad he was on the amplified stage, but what I hate about it is that he had one of the best vocals of the night, being Marvin Gaye's whole love child. Like October London, I don't know like how he like officially finally got into this bag, but this man truly has like rebirthed Marvin Gaye. Like he's trying to do with this album, like truly bring back the spirit of Marvin in terms of like his voice and his musical stylings. Like October London is killing that lane right now. He's really not mimicking Marvin Gaye, but really, using Marvin Gaye's, spirit and his roadmap to kind of bring it into his own, music right now and into his own energy and kind of giving us like a new version of it. And it's being so well done. Shout out to October London. Salute to that brother. He did a great job performing his song. Impeccable vocal, gotta salute him. And I'm still mad about him getting shut out at the Grammys because he deserved at least one Grammy, if not two Grammy nominations. He deserved at least 1 or 2 Grammy noms, and I'm mad he got shut out completely. He should have been in the Army categories, and still mad about that. But yeah, man, October London definitely did a good job. Shout out to him. I think he was on one of the high rocks performing his song. He did a good job. Incredible vocal, solid performance, just a good dude with good music. So salute October London. Next up was the Soul Cypher, like they do every year, and this show was pretty nice. They did it to the instrumental of You Got It Bad, which I thought was really funny because I know on the R&B Money podcast, when Brian Michael Cox was just on there like a couple weeks ago, he was talking about how one of his favorite songs that he ever made along with Jermaine Dupri was You Got It Bad for Usher. So I feel like that's like a personal favorite for Brian Michael Cox. And he was DJing. So I think that's actually cool I think it's funny that he chose that for, I don't know if he chose it, but I'm pretty sure he probably is the one that chose it for the instrumental for the Cypher. So, but yeah, they did a great job. It was Nicci Gilbert from Brownstone, Arin Ray, Eric Bellinger, and Marsha Ambrosius. And they all did a pretty good job. I really liked, I guess my favorite things from all of them. I think my favorite vocal was probably Nicci Gilbert's, like in terms of like, who just was singing the best. I think Nicci just did a great job. I loved her vocal. She sounded great. She was really, hers was passionate. She felt like, she had something to prove. Because I feel like, Brownstone and their legacy and Nicci, they really get like pushed to the side. But, and only had like one album. They only had like one album that was big. Their second album didn't really, move like that. But Brownstone was, man, If You Love Me and Grapevine, two of my favorite songs from the 90s. Brownstone, they had like a really short career, but man, when they were here, the music, yeah, y'all be sleeping on Brownstone. So shout out Nicci Gilbert, she had a great vocal. I really liked Arin Ray's, I liked his freestyle. I liked what he was saying. And Eric Bellinger and Marsha Ambrosius, to me, they were my favorites in terms of the fact that they were both talking their shit. Like they were both talking their shit about like their history and like their pedigree in the music industry, and both were spitting facts, and I love it. So Eric Bellinger was talking about being independent. Marsha Ambrosius was talking about like her writing credits, writing from Michael Jackson and all the stuff she's done, like Say Yes and all the hits they both got. Like yeah, like they were talking that shit, and as they should, because they have a great history in this game. So yeah, I liked their blend all together. When they all blended towards the end, it was great. And yeah, it definitely, to me, wasn't like one of the most memorable Soul Cyphers we've had in recent memory, but it definitely wasn't bad. They all did a great job, and it was good energy. So shout out to the Soul Cypher. It definitely was a nice moment. It was cute. Next up, we had one of the highlights of the night for sure, and that was Coco Jones doing double duty, performing her own song, Double Back, and then transitioning into a mashup of Double Back's, Rain sample, and then performing Rain with SWV. Man, what a moment. Coco Jones, I'm so happy for her. The year she's had has been so beautiful to watch. We're seeing a star blossom in front of our eyes, and this moment was such a long time coming for her, but it finally happened in God's time, and I'm so happy for the year that she's having, and she deserves everything that's coming to her. So she performed Double Back first, and I'm so happy that Double Back has finally gotten like a major TV performances. I feel like all year it's been ICU, 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 and I love ICU. But my sis has other bops. Crazy for Me, Double Back, Headline. Like Coco Jones has other bangers, bro, besides ICU. Like, so I'm glad that Double Back, was pushed as a single early this year. And it finally got a performance at the Soul Cypher Awards, and she did a great job. She looked amazing in like her, I think it was like a white outfit. She looked beautiful. It was given like, 90s R&B starlet. Amazing. She looked amazing. She sounded amazing. That vocal was everything. And she connected. The vocal, it felt emotional. It felt passionate. Even if she was cold or whatever was going on, you couldn't tell. Like she killed it. She looked like a star. And even in that very humble environment, like she wasn't like on a big stage, like she was in a small stage in Keke's house, but she still like ate it up and made it look grand. And she was effervescent. So she killed it, sounded amazing. The only thing I would say about her performance is I would have liked there to have been something like on the stage for her. Like I feel like everyone had like something on the stage besides like Maeta, I don't know. I wish there was something like more dynamic with like her staging for when she did Double Back. It was just like her standing there, and she did a great job. She was radiating, but I wish like they'd given her something like not a background dancer, but just something on the stage, so I kind of brought it to life more in terms of the visual. And then she transitioned. She went to a different stage and she performed with SWV Rain, and that was amazing. Not only did SWV look amazing, they sounded great. But just to see that like passing of the torch moment between SWV and Coco Jones was so beautiful. I love that Coco Jones is so in her bag in terms of R&B history that she, not only knows so many of these classics, but she sampled Rain for Double Back. And I knew for a fact that was going to happen once I saw that SWV had arrived to the Soul Cypher Awards. I was like, okay, bet. I know that Coco Jones is going to bring them out. And she did. I love that it happens. Great moment between them. It really felt like a passing of the torch moment, like I said. And it was so great to see the old generation and the future of R&B linking up on a song that we all have known and loved for years, being sampled on a new song that has its own vibe, but has the DNA of Rain in it for a new future R&B star. Like that was so dope to see. So I love that. Amazing moment between SWV and Coco Jones. Definitely one of the highlights of the night for me in terms of the vocal and just how it felt. Definitely a highlight for sure. Loved it. Next up was Maeta, who is someone I'm gonna need for y'all to really stop sleeping on and wake it up on her. Maeta performed her track Through the Night. I really love her, man. I don't know really what it is about Maeta that I feel like it's like she's not clicking yet with the masses, but I hope that changes soon, hopefully maybe next year. But she put out an amazing album this year, her debut album, When I Hear Your Name, in June. Definitely one of the best R&B projects of this year, a great album. But yeah, man, she performed Through the Night. And when I tell you guys, like Maeta has such a timeless and classic thing about like her look and her voice and her vibe, and the music to match is lovely. Like her music is sublime. So I really need for y'all to wake it up on Maeta. It's like stop sleeping on her. Her music is great, and her performance just felt good. Like it was classic. Like she looked amazing. She sounded good, like it was calm, but it was powerful at the same time. Like she wasn't doing too much, she was doing just enough. Like she was giving vocal, like she was singing, but she wasn't doing too much. Like it was just, it was pure. It was good vibes. Like she really did her thing. So I love Maeta. I feel like this is like her first major award show performance, at least that I've seen, and she knocked out the park. Like with pretty much nothing on the stage. She didn't have no dancers. She didn't have no like nothing on the stage. It was just her and that mic, and she just sang old school. Like she just sang, and everybody was just captivated because she ate it up. She really did a great job. So I can't salute Maeta enough for a great performance, for a great song, from a great album. And she's someone I'm looking forward to seeing more from her in the future because I think she's so solid. But I'm waiting to see, hopefully, her get that song at that moment that's gonna make the masses wake up to her. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, for the ones like me, the real ones that are up on her, we were not bad. We got our gift last night with Maeta killing that stage. So shout out Maeta, she did a great job. Next up was Fridayy, who performed his song When It Comes to You, another artist that I love. I saw a lot of y'all talking shit on Twitter talking about, oh, another underwater singer that sound like Giveon. And I'm really over y'all like not appreciating singers like Giveon and Fridayy who have really interesting tones. If y'all want to hate on these guys, fine, cool, do what y'all gotta do. But I'm sorry, I'm a grown up, I'm not a child. And I, for one, value, if y'all just don't like these people's voices, fine. But I love an interesting, unique, weird voice like a Giveon or a Fridayy. Like, I love their voices. I feel like I love when an artist can give me a voice where no matter where, when I hear you, no matter whose song you're on, I know it's you. And Fridayy has that type of voice. And so does Giveon and people like him. I love guys that sound like them. Y'all can hear them all you want, but I love voices like that. Especially if it's not like if it doesn't bother my ear, but it's just like, you know, if it sounds warbly or underwatery or whatever, fine. But like if they know how to use their voice well, if they're singing well, why are you pressed? Like, I love their voices. So I love Fridayy. He's an artist. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, more from him in the future. I love what he gives to the game. I love his voice. I love his vibe. I love his music. I love the sonic lane that he's in. But yes, I love his performance of When It Comes to You. He did a good job. I love the red balloon. You know, that kind of symbolized the red balloon on his album cover. So I love that. He had a bunch of red balloons on the stage, which I thought was dope. And he had like a little like love interest dancer who was like dancing around and on him. And I was like, okay, Fridayy, do your thing. Yeah, the dancer, she was killing it. She ate it up. And yeah, it was a smooth performance. Definitely wasn't like a highlight, but it was smooth. You know, he did a good job to me. You know, he did what he had to do. Yeah, it was cool. Next up was Honey Baby, who performed her song Touchin' on the Amplified stage. So again, a really quick performance that wasn't long enough. By the time I got into it, it was cut, which I hate, but it is what it is. We know this every year. But yeah, I'm not really familiar with her like that, but I love this song, and every time I hear it on like a playlist on like Spotify or whatever, I be jamming. I love this song. Touching, touching, touching on me. Touching, touching, touching on your love. Touching, touching, touching. I love that song. It's such a bop. Touching is a banger. I love that song. So yeah, again, I don't know much about her, but I love that song. So I'm looking forward to her, you know, more from her in the future. And she did a pretty good job. Definitely was like, you know, she just kind of stood there. It wasn't like, you know, wasn't a lot going on, but she performed the song. It was straight. You know, she sounded pretty good. So I hope more people tap into that song. Really great song. Next up was BJ, the Chicago Kid, and Coco Jones, who performed their song Spend the Night off of BJ's new album, Gravy, which is one of my favorite R&B albums of this year. A really great project that y'all should go check out. BJ, the Chicago Kid, man, a consistent guy in our generation, man, a consistent guy that y'all be sleeping on, but he's one of one. So yeah, Spend the Night is a whole bop. I love this song, and one thing about it, BJ, the Chicago Kid, is gonna always sing. He's gonna always give you a genuine, good vocal, like, you know, no frills, just talent, good music, good vibes, you know, just good energy, and he did that tonight for sure. I think Coco Jones came through. She looked great. She sounded amazing as well. When it came time to do her verse, she came in after, you know, BJ did his verse, and she came in for the side and then joined him. And then they spent the rest of the performance, like, you know, duetting together for that song. And they both, you know, they both sounded and looked great, and they both had great energy, and it was a good performance in terms of what they were giving. But I will say, I feel like the performance needed like some dancers. Like, you know, it's such an upbeat, like, you know, funky, like kind of has like that 70s, like, you know, like skating rink, that bounce to it. You know, it has that funky, groovy feeling that just, you know, Coco and BJ on the stage by themselves, it kind of, I feel like it didn't really do the song justice. I feel like for that song to have really translated the way it should have, it needed some dancers. It needed like some more elements on stage to really bring it to life. You know, the lighting was cool on the stage, but besides lighting, it needed some other elements in terms of, you know, us seeing it visually on stage to really give it the justice I feel like it deserves. Because that song is a great song. Spend the Night is a whole banger. Like, the video was cute. You know, it's a great song between Coco and BJ, but I feel like it kind of felt dry because it was just them and that was it. But besides that, like, they did a great job and that song's great. So shout out to BJ, the Chicago Kid, and Coco Jones coming to perform again. Shout out to her. It was her night, low key. Oh yeah, great, good performance. Even though I feel like needed some more, you know, visual elements on stage, but other than that, they killed it. They did a great job, and I'm looking forward to hopefully people waking it up on that song because it's a banger. Next up was Keke Palmer, who of course had to have a performance slot if the award show was gonna be hosted at her house. So she performed her song Ungorgeous off of the deluxe version of her new album slash EP Big Boss. The song is like, the song is I ain't gonna hold you. The song is cool, not a bad song, but it's definitely not like a, you know, it's not a hit to me. But it's a cute little song. But I definitely think she sounded amazing. She killed the vocal. She looked amazing, and like I think she had like a white ensemble on. Kind of gave like a mini dress vibe, but I think it had like a flowy gown. I think if I remember correctly, like a flowy cape thing. I think. But she looked amazing. She sounded great. She killed it vocally. Again, I don't know if it was a pre-record or if it was live. It felt like it was live with the mic was on, but I could be wrong. But the vocal was amazing. She sounded great. She had great presence. She definitely had good blocking with the performance. Like I loved how the camera followed her from like kind of like her like patio to like her like going to like one stage, and then she like walks through like the runway of like rocks and like the pool area, and then she like moved to like another stage, I think. So I just loved how like, and then like, she came to the final stage where like the camera like rotated around her, and like, you know, I loved like her blocking for her performance was dope. I loved how the camera followed her and all that. And I really loved that we got to see Keke Palmer on like a ballad vibe for a TV performance. I feel like every time we've seen Keke Palmer on like a TV performance, it's been like a up-tempo like banger or like, you know, some cute up-tempo song. But I like that the world got to see and be reminded of the fact that Keke Palmer can sing. Y'all be forgetting, but Keke Palmer can really sing. So I'm glad that she did like a slow ballad vibe, which I feel like we've not seen from her in a while on TV. So I'm glad she did that song. Even though, like I said, I don't think the song is that great, but at the end of the day, even though musically I feel like the song is like average, I love that song that song has a whole new meaning after all that we've learned about what Keke's been going through in her personal life. And that song, I think lyrically, musically maybe not so much, but definitely lyrically it holds so much more weight now off that, you know, Big Boss Deluxe album. So shout out to Keke Palmer on, you know, writing that song. You could tell it came from a real place, and I love when artists can just bare their soul and put their soul on wax on records. And that's definitely what she did on that song. And then she won because she translated it to a beautiful performance, a great performance that she really killed. I think she had definitely one of the best performances of the night for sure. She did a great job. She was definitely comfortable in her house, so I'm not surprised she did a great job. But yeah, shout out Keke. That was a great performance, and she definitely put her stamp on the night and reminded y'all of her talent. So shout out Keke. Amazing. Next up was definitely one of the best highlights of the night for me, and that was the Legend Award, which was given out to T-Pain this year. And I'm so happy this moment happened. I low-key wish that it happened when the awards were like, you know, regularly like in a big theater with like mad people there and all that, but it's all good. I'm still happy that at the end of the day, T-Pain got recognized with the Legend Award this year. So deserving. He got introed by David Banner, who came out and talked about like, you know, and he really told the truth about how like, you know, even when like everybody and their mama was like, you know, in T-Pain's face about his auto-tune and how everybody like played in his face about like him using it, and everybody like act like, you know, he was a joke and just, you know, just played in his face about it for years and years and years. He always stood on business. I'm standing on business. That's the new hot term right now. But yeah, T-Pain always stood on business, and he always held it down and always remained steadfast and did him when it came to his music and his artistry. And we are forever grateful for it because it gave us bops for years. The hits, okay, listen. The hits that T-Pain got off. Okay, so before I get into that, let's get into his speech. So he gave a speech after David Banner, you know, introed him. And I loved his speech. He was talking about like, you know, just all the stuff he's been through in his life and like how his wife has held him down. And now like, you know, he's been through so much stuff, but like, you know, he's still here and he's just thankful to like, you know, be a vessel. And what I really loved about his speech the most was towards the end when he was really talking about, you know, how he's like kind of like perplexed at like winning the award at 39. He just turned 39 this year. And people be forgetting how young T-Pain is because he was so because he dominated like, you know, like 20 years ago. People be thinking that like T-Pain is like old as hell, but like no, when T-Pain started out, he was young as hell. And you know, he's still he's 39, like, but it's crazy that even at this point in his career and at this age, he is considered a legend because what he did for the game, the way T-Pain changed the game and the impact that he had in the game is really a history, and it's a legacy that I feel like it's been so like undersung. It's been so unsung, and his legacy has really been like swept under the rug and like shoved and put to the side because he's kind of like not been as hot as we like went throughout the 2010s and up until now. But for me, I'm not someone that cares about like what you've done lately. If you change the game, if you made impact in the game at a certain point in time, whether it was a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, I will always love and respect you. And T-Pain literally held the entire late 2000s era. He held that entire era on his back. I'm talking about from 05 to like 09. And if you want to extend it a little bit more, maybe like to like up to like 2013, those years, the hits that T-Pain had, his own hits, him featuring on other people's songs, hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, to the point where like he defined my childhood. Like those are my middle high school years. Like he defined my childhood. All my classmates, all my friends from my middle high school years, T-Pain held us the fuck down. And even adults that were adulting around that time, he held y'all down in the clubs. Like what? Like T-Pain held us down for years on end. And I hate that as the years went on, we kind of just like forgot about him because he didn't really like, because he's not been as active. But bruh, the resume speaks for itself. The resume speaks for itself. So shout out to Soul Train for giving him this recognition, for giving him this moment to talk about his life and to let him get a medley of hits off. I loved how at the end of his speech he was talking about, you know, with all that he's been through, he's 39, he's getting this award now, which is crazy. But that, you know, all the other, you know, young new artists coming up, they shouldn't be, you know, in the game striving to like get that award at some point in the future. They should be striving to just do them and know that they're already legends and know that they already have it within them, and that it's up to them to just be able to, you know, stay steadfast in their artistry, their vision, what they want to do and how they want to do it. And I was like, yes, like I love that. I love someone like T-Pain telling people, don't focus on trying to become a legend. Just know that you already are one by doing you at all times and never compromising. And that's real shit. So I love that. It was an amazing speech. I loved it. And then after we came back from a commercial break, this man did a medley of like all his hits, his own, and you know, songs that he did with other people. And man, when I tell you, everybody on Twitter was saying the same thing. And I was definitely in my crib rocking. I was on my couch like, hey, try to get them apple pie and boots with the fire. Like, bro, this man was getting off hit after. Okay, let me run them off. So this man, he did. I might miss a few too, but this man did. Let's see. He did Get Money with him and Lil Wayne. Then he did Booty Work. Then he did Cyclone. Did you body like a cyclone? Woo! Oh my God. Did she make you wanna do it all night long? My middle school years. He did Cyclone. Then he did Good Life with him and Kanye West. He did Blame It on the Alcohol. Bro, Blame It with him and Jamie Foxx. Come on, man. He did Blame It. And then he did, Boss with him and Rick Ross. And then he did Can't Believe It with him and T-Pain. With him and Lil Wayne. And then he did Bartender, one of my favorite songs by him. I'm at the bartender, ain't looking for me yet. Bro, Bartender, a whole jam. I love that song. He did Bartender. Then he did You and That with him and E40 and Candy. And then he did She Got It, a hood anthem. Then he did In Love with a Stripper, classic. And then he did Kiss Kiss with, Chris Brown, a little bit of that. And then he did a little bit of a Just Want to Rock breakdown with Kiss Kiss, which I thought was dope. But I love how he integrated those two songs. So he did that. And then he did Shawty with him and Plies. Come on. Then he did Buy You a Drink. And then he did Get Low. Then he did I'm So Hood. And then he ended off with All I Do Is Win. Like, bro, the hits that T-Pain has. Yo, you're like, come on. Nah. Not too much on T-Pain. Like, what? Come on, man. So he did all them songs. He did like, each song like 20, 30 seconds, like ba 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 ba. And he killed it. And he kept his energy throughout the whole shit. Like, and every chance he got, he was hitting his robot. He was hitting the chin move he do. My bad. He did he did, bro, like he was that classic T-Pain shit. Like I loved it. My whole middle school, high school, Bright I was getting my life. Like my younger me was like, yeah, I was getting my life. T-Pain killed that shit. So shout out T-Pain. I'm glad he reminded us of his legacy, of his hits, of his impact in the game, because people be forgetting. And I never forgot. I've always loved and respected T-Pain to this day, but I'm glad the world was reminded of what this man did in his heyday. Like, I don't think it will ever be replicated again. What T-Pain did will never be replicated again, I don't think. And he really set his own lane with the auto-tune sound. But I also hate that he gets stifled into being like the auto-tune guy, because in my opinion, T-Pain was way more than auto-tune. Like, first of all, he can sing with or without auto-tune. Like, he can sing down. And I feel like his legacy shouldn't just be like silent into, oh my god, he was the auto-tune guy, he made auto-tune popular. But it's like, no, besides the auto-tune thing, like his music in general, his ear for music, his ear for hits, his musicality, at the end of the day, auto-tune or not, was always top tier. And that's what got him in the game, not his auto-tune skills. So don't ever get it twisted. So yeah, man, T-Pain, thank you, King, for all that you've done for us. Thank you for all that you will continue to do for us in the future. I'm looking forward to a few more hits before you bow out the game. Salute to all that you've done for us, and salute to an amazing night for an award that you deserved. And thank you for your amazing medley performance. You brought energy, you brought the vibes, you took us down memory lane, and you got the party started. Like, you really did. So shout out to T-Pain. He killed that shit. Shout out, man. Shout out. And the only thing I'll say about the T-Pain medley that I didn't like is I wish they had given his staging a little bit more. Kind of like, with Coco Jones and BJ Child Kid. I kind of wish they gave T-Pain stage a little bit more. But at the end of the day, he also did move around a lot from like different places in the backyard. He moved around a lot. So I'm not that mad about it. But I wish for the main stage, besides the DJ, I wish they had given him like more, like dancers, more. I wish they had given him something on stage to work with. But it's all good. And then after T-Pain did his performance, that was pretty much the end of the show, y'all. I was kind of shocked that they didn't really have like a Soul Train line to end the show. I don't really know why they didn't really do that, but to me that was really shameful, because I feel like that happens every year. No matter how good or bad the award show was, like they always end off with the Soul Train line. But I guess Keke and everybody at BET was so wrapped up in what was going on in terms of them doing it at Keke's house that they didn't really think about making sure that they could have set up a Soul Train line to end the show. Keke was just like, okay, y'all, thank y'all for a great night. All right, we'll see y'all later. Bye. And I was like, but okay, that's it. Like, no Soul Train line, nothing. And I think the show ended at like 10 o'clock. So the show was like 2 hours long. We could have went to like 11 o'clock. We had way more time to have given out, maybe have like another performance or two from other artists. And we had plenty of time to give out way more awards. Which is the last thing I want to talk about before I end up this video. We really only had 3 awards given out during the telecast, which is shameful, but not surprising, because that's what always happens these days. But my thing is, like, I don't really care who attends and who doesn't attend. I don't care if like all the artists who win don't attend. I still think there's value in people seeing who won the awards during the telecast, and not having to look up on Twitter or online who won. Like, we can all do that, but it's like, why not give people their flowers for who won the awards during the telecast, especially if there's time to do it. Like, they definitely had time this year to do that. So I don't know why they didn't do that, but it is what it is. So the show ended. So here are all the other award winners of this year's Soul Train Awards. Album of the year went to SZA for SOS, as it should have. Shout out to her. I'm not gonna go through all the nominations. I'm just gonna go through who won. You can go look it up by yourself. But yeah, album of the year went to SOS. I'm not surprised by that. Love that. Song of the year went to Snooze by SZA. Again, SZA dominating. I love it. This category was amazing. So many other good songs, but I'm definitely glad Snooze won. It's probably who I would have picked as well. Shout out to Snooze, one of the best R&B songs of this year, and I think what will go on to be one of the best R&B songs of this decade. So that's that. Best R&B soul female artist went to SZA. She had an amazing year. Why not? I'm glad she won it. Best R&B soul male artist went to Usher, and I love that. He had a great year, so why not? He had a great music out this year. He had a great moment with his Vegas residency and all that. I'm glad he won. Best new artist went to Coco Jones, as y'all know. The Soul Train Certified Award went to Usher. I'm glad it went to Usher. Usher dominated as well this year. I'm glad he won that. I'm not surprised he won that one, looking at all the other nominations. The Best Gospel / Inspirational Award went to Kirk Franklin for All Things. I'm not familiar with any of these songs besides The Journey by her, but I'm not surprised. And Came Too Far with Fridayy and Back to the Music. And I love that song. But I'm not surprised Kirk Franklin won, because Kirk Franklin always wins everything at the Grammys and the Soul Train Awards. Like, he always wins everything. So I'm not surprised Kirk Franklin won. Video of the year went to Victoria Monet for On My Mama, and I love that. Definitely deserved. I'm glad she won it. She definitely had the best video in this category and one of the best R&B videos of this year. She ate that up. She killed it. So I'm glad she won. And speaking of Victoria Monet, best dance performance went to Victoria Monet for On My Mama as well. So I'm glad she won those two. Definitely she deserved those two for her video for On My Mama and for the dance performance. She definitely had the best choreography throughout this whole category. And salute Sean Bankhead. That's your award as well, bro. Shout out to you. Best collaboration went to Usher, Summer Walker, and 21 Savage for Good Good. As It Should've. I freaking love that song. It's such a good collaboration between all three artists, and I love that record. Really good category with other songs here, but I definitely would have given the award to that song myself. I probably would have, yeah. So I'm glad Good Good won. Shout out to Usher. He won 3. And then the last category is the Ashford and Simpson Songwriters Award, which went to Snooze, As It Should've, because Snooze is such a well-written song. A song for the ages. SZA, Babyface, and Leon Thomas III, and Blair Ferguson and Chris Riddick Tynes. Y'all all killed that song, and I can't wait to see y'all take a Grammy for Best R&B Song for that record as well. I'm looking forward to that because Snooze is everything. So yeah, those are all the award winners for this year. SZA took home 4 Soul Train Awards, which is amazing. She deserves. Usher took home 3, and Victoria Monet took home 2. Love that for them. None of them were in the building. None of them were present, which is sad. But they're all busy, so I get it. But yeah, even besides them, I just wish we had more people show up. But at the end of the day, the show was still really cool. I liked the vibe of it. I liked the switch up, and I liked what they were going for. I would just say if we're going to do that in the future, I would tune it up with certain things. Let's fix the lighting. Let's fix the elements and the wind and all that. Let's fix it up a little bit. But I liked the vision. I would just fix it up for future years. But really, I think it's probably best to go back to it being like inside a theater, to be honest. But I don't mind the outside vibe. We just got to make it better. But yeah, y'all, those are all my thoughts on this year's Soul Train Awards. Comment down below what you thought about the Soul Train Awards this year. Did you love them? Did you hate them? Did you think they were okay? Could have been better? Let me know your favorite performances, your favorite moments of the show. Let me know what you thought about all the awards, who won, who lost, and all that. Let me know what you thought about how they had it at Keke's house, and how everything looked and how everything felt. Let me know what you think about, Janelle Monae winning her award, T-Pain winning the Legend Award. Just give me all your favorite, moments, all your thoughts on this year's show, and let's talk down below in the comments, okay? Appreciate y'all. But all right, y'all, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well, okay? And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my Patreon. I just set up a Patreon page where I'll have all my exclusive content, my longer album reactions, my bright side mixes, all my exclusive content will go on my Patreon page. So definitely go subscribe to that and go support. Thank you. All right, y'all. But this has been your boy Bright, the R&B Kid. Thank you for watching. But for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all. Peace.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just